known better. This was his last year. I really have too much of a problem with the suspension. I think what got him into trouble when he tried to go up in the crowd.
Yeah.
That I think maybe if the punch and that would have been it, maybe he gets suspended maybe 5 games or so, or what have you. You know, everybody says it was a sucker punch. Don't really think it was a sucker punch because the guy really kind of came up to him and started whooping at him. I mean, and when you start talking trash to somebody, you better expect anything. So. As far as a sucker punch go, but you know, at that point, what he's got to do, he just got to go to the locker room. It was a bad loss; they were embarrassed. Just go to the locker room, take your shower, take your gear off, whatever you do, and get on the bus and just go back home. I mean, you got plenty of time in the season to regroup. I mean, it wasn't a good game. I mean, but you just can't do those kind of things like that. I mean, you know, especially when people are looking for something to kind of basically put you away. I mean, yeah, all the bad things that athletes have done, they're looking for something to make an example out of.
Yeah, national TV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the only problem I have, it was two individuals that were at fault, and I think the fellow that made the first move to put his hand on the guy initiated what happened.
Yeah.
And then you got to be ready for what come after.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it, isn't this the week they're supposed to be shaking hands before the game? And Coach, what do you think about the shaking hands before the game?
You know, and it's crazy because you know that the coach all week been telling them how important the game is going to be. And you tell them to get ready for one thing, and then, you know, you turn it off when you go and shake hands and whatnot.
But one of these kind of situations, you remember a couple of years ago you had Miami against Florida International, and the guy was swinging his helmet and everything. And this didn't just get on Sports Center. It gets on Fox News. Last night I saw the punch on MSNBC last night.
Right.
You know when you had the NBA fight involving Carmelo Anthony. See, this didn't get on sports shows. It gets on these news shows, and they really escalated. So.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, escalated stuff. I have one of the big guns of blackapples.com and Blog Talk. This brother is a personal friend of our good man Pat Freeman. He hung out with Pat at the Super Bowl. I have to say, it's my man. This illustrious man he's just nasty, man. I got to say, he's part of a fantastic show that's on Blog Talk Radio known as the Bachelor Flag. All I have to say is my man, Mr. Michael Ingram. Mike, are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
All is good.
Yeah, Mike. In the station, we have the Professor Tony Khan, the Encyclopedia Glenn Brown, and the Hall of Famer himself, Coach Lou Anderson. So, Mike, tell everybody a little bit about the Bachelor Pad and also the Weekend Sports Show, my friend.
Well, the Bachelor Pad comes on Blog Talk Radio. That's www.blogtalkradio.com from 6 to 8 Monday to Friday. And our colleague Tony McClain, he is on Blog Talk as well today from 2 to 4 with the Weekend Sports Wrap. Fastest 2 hours in sports. And I'm just part of the team, my friend.
All right. Tell you what, Mike, if you don't mind, just give us a little heads up about what we can expect in black college football, which, started this weekend and, it will be running in earnest for the next few weeks. Just to give us a little skeleton view of maybe the various conference or any teams in particular do you think should stand out this year?
Well, I tell you, MEAC is all about FAMU and whatnot, and that young man, Mr. Pulley, out there. It's funny, when we saw Steve McNair's untimely demise, everybody wondered where the next bright light was going to come from, and I think down there in FAMU, this kid is the truth. I don't know if he'll put up McNair-type stats, but he's exciting. He's a true field general and whatnot, and unfortunately, because we know they seem to be trying to go back in the direction of 1950 as opposed to 2010 in regards to giving black quarterbacks an opportunity. We may not see him do what he needs to do in the National Football League, but I truly believe this kid is a budding pro. He's going to be a very good player, unlike somebody down in Florida who they keep trying to anoint as the next coming of you-know-what. But I digress, as my man lives like.
Right.
But I'm loving FAMU. I'm also loving the fact that because I'm up here in New York, we don't get as much flavor as we'd like to save from the black schools, but the Whitney Young Classic will be back on again.
Right.
So Winston-Salem and Morgan State will be in the house on the 19th. I'm looking forward to seeing that and catching some of my people and whatnot doing their thing. And I also like Fay State. I think they're going to do well. I like it Shaw a lot. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on. And one thing we know for sure, when the brothers get on the field, we know that they were also in the classroom. So there's not going to be that kind of scandalous nonsense that we see the big college level.
Okay.
I feel for
You
Delaware.
get enough hours in legal, they don't.
That's right. They got their own training. I'm feeling for Delaware State though, because I know they had to do this. It was about business for them. Because as we speak, gentlemen, Ohio State is playing Navy, I believe, and every one of them 100,000 folks in the stands have paid $60 a ticket to come up in there and see Ohio State. They've got 8 home games that they garner roughly $6.3 million from per home date. Now we know what the HBCUs can do with that, with just the gate receipts for one home game. The whole conference could use that money like that.
That's right.
But this is what's going on. This is about gangster moves where these people just sit there and they count that money. It's all about making the money go. Because the black players that they have planned for them now, they didn't want any part of them 40, 50 years ago.
That's right.
When they found out they could make them money, well, there you go. All of a sudden, welcome to Alabama.
Yeah. Good point, Mike. All right, fellas. Any questions?
I tell you, that's a great statement. I'm sitting here thinking when I was coaching at Virginia State how we had to just, if we took a game as against a Division I AA, we were just looking for a payday. And regardless of what the score was going to be. And I was telling someone, we played, while I was at state for 11 years, probably too many games where we could really get L's. I mean, if we was really trying to be a great football program, we never got a chance to do that. We were trying to mainly get some revenue. And that's bad because the state of Virginia doesn't help in nothing in terms of football or athletics and as far as helping the program. So you have to muscle up your own money.
Yeah, well, that is, because Ohio State, that is the Ohio State, that is the cash cow when it comes to football there, so, I guess, with the economy being what it is in Ohio, I guess they figure that's the only way they got to make money, so they got to jack the price up on them, I guess.
Well, because, Coach, you think so, if they're so depressed there, how can they afford $60 a pop? I mean, the Dallas Cowboys will less money.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, the coach got his own private plane too. Trust him.
But I tell you what, Mike, this is going to get gangster.
I didn't know that.
Like we're doing blog talk radio, we'll do the PG version.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and tell them what really happened in that Oregon game, man.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, fellas, I heard.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sports Talk is back. Let's get nasty. Come on, brother. Break it.
Yes, I heard just the tape stuff coming on and whatnot, and Coach, you know this. When you win with class.
Exactly right.
You ain't got to say nothing. The scoreboard did all your talking for you.
Exactly right.
All you had to do was walk off.
Exactly.
But here's where
I know what happened.
You got this kid, House, number 94, so we know he played D-line. 6'4", maybe 260, 265. He figured he could jump state, and ain't nobody going to tell him nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he figured he going to step up to a running back. Maybe his brother was talking a little smack and whatnot, and say something. Now, we know he said something funky because his coach grabbed him right off the bat.
Right.
If you look at that video,
Right.
you know he grabbed him.
Right.
And that's why it looked like he got snuck, because he didn't get snuck. When he grabbed him, homeboy threw that straight right, and unfortunately that was the best forward progress that Oregon made all day and whatnot.
But what I heard had happened was Blunt before the game told the player, "We owe you an ass whipping." And after the game, the player that got punched said, "Well, I guess you owe us 2 ass whippings now."
Well, I'm telling you what. I'm sitting here looking at the picture of Blunt delivering the punch, which I really hate seeing him doing this. But I am looking also with the coach with both his hands on this guy as he had a little sneaky grin on his face as he took that punch in his face.
That's right. but you know what I'm saying? This is Boise State has had this reputation over the last couple of years that they were a team on the rise and all that.
Exactly right. They're a good football team.
This was where they were supposed to be stepping up and whatnot. They played a supposedly quality opponent, and they were going to move up and hopefully get a share of that BCS money. Because everybody can do what they want. That's the real issue Right. So here they go. They get their victory. They play a great